So today's class concept is on green screen. So what all you know about green screen? The screen is in front of you. What all you know? Have you observed anything about green screen? Making the footage alpha, yes. This is the important point. Anything else? We can composite multiple shots with multiple green screens. We can layer one green screen after one green screen and create a multiple VFX kind of shot. We can overlay, we can create backgrounds. It's not just we have to just cut down the green screen and put the background behind that. We can even go very further to this concept. We can overlay our shots with some green screen effect. We can overlay the graphics with green screen effects. We can create the multiple backgrounds. We can create the scenes with the green screens. Okay, we can introduce a new character into the scene with green screen. But what you have to take care of it? You have to take care of its lighting in relation to the shot. That lighting should have to match. And how we match the lighting? The color correction part. We have to match those two shots with the color correction. The contrast should be same, the color should be same, and the shadows should be in the same color. Why I am saying shadow should be in same color? Because if that shot, the master shot is color graded, then you have to color grade your current green screen shot to match those color with that. And when we'll go to that is what we do. We can create any, we can take any color from the shot and color grade our footage too with that particular color grade. How we can do this? Photoshop is the main part where we create these kind of color grades. When we'll go to Photoshop, I even let you know how you can create your own lookup tables to create those fields to match those color. Okay, but not in Final Cut Pro. Final Cut Pro is not capable of creating lookup tables, but you can create color grade and color correct in Final Cut Pro. Okay, every software has its own potential and you have to take the juice of that potential. So next question is, why we shoot green screen? Why not red screen? Why not black screen? Why not orange screen? Why green screen? Green will be very less present in other color. Yeah, we can say this, but not exactly.
That shade of green is very different from everything else present in the plane. So we can easily.
The shade of green is the luminosity of the color. है ना? We can say the shade is represent to the luminosity, the exposure values. What if I'll just take the duplicate of this clip. I'll hide this clip. I will crop this green. Let's say done. I come to exposure. Okay, now if I decrease the exposure, the green is changing the color. So not, we cannot say ki this color, this green is not present in other shots, है ना? Because the color, the saturation or the brightness part is related to exposure. How we putting, how much lights we are putting on that green to cut or to make it different from the foreground. That is all about. Now if you see this exposure and this exposure is totally different. So what we are creating is we are putting the lights on green to make it to such luminosity level so that we can cut that color from the shot. And foreground lighting and background lighting is to be different. Second thing, at the time of shoot, if these characters shadow will fall on this green screen, that will not able to cut. So that what does this show? This shows that our character has to be more far from the green screen so that when the light reach to character, that shadows will not fall on this green screen. So it will, so you can see in this shot there is no shadow falling on the green screen. So these are the very important points to cut the better green screen. If in any shot you see that the characters shadow are falling on the green screen, you cannot be able to cut it exactly. You can make it rotoscope, you can make it mask, you can keyframe that mask and create, even we can create lumas for that to cut it down, but that will not give that result which this kind of effect can give. Okay, so luminosity, I will say ki the color is not the point, ki the color shade is not the exact point we can say, because the light is changing the color. So color is not a matter. Let's delete this. Any other? Why we choose green? Why not yellow? Why not red? We also uses blue pehle. Why we dropped blue? Why we choose green is the main important point. This is all in this color wheel. Just give me a moment. ब्लू कलर स्कैटर्ड होता है. लाइट अभी मैंने बताया यू कैन चेंज द कलर विद लुमिनोसिटी ना. लाइट इंटेंसिटी से हम किसी भी कलर को वी कैन चेंज. तो why we use green is because green color is not present in the skin tones. ठीक है, पहले ब्लू कलर को यूज किया जाता था. सो वाई दे चूज ग्रीन ओवर ब्लू इज बिकॉज समटाइम द एक्टर्स इन द हॉलीवुड्स हैविंग द ब्लूअर आईज. तो जब वो क्रोमा दे आर गोइंग टू कट तो दैट आईज इज गेटिंग ऑल्सो कट. So we can, and even when you are wearing jeans and all, and that's also having a shade of blue. So the main reason of choosing the green over blue is the eyes, because you can stop wearing blues, you can choose the different color in the clothing, but you cannot choose the different eyes. So this is the reason. Yes, someone says ki we can put the lenses in the eyes, but if the character don't willing want to do it, he has to show his own eyes, then what? So then all the research went and they decided that the green is the second color which is not present in the skin. So what we have to take care of, even I said ki when we do color corrections, if the human body is there, we have to color correct as per the human skin tones. So this is the main reason why they choose this color, because skin tones always matter. We can give away something if the skin is coming good. No one sees ki that jeans color is blue or now it's getting royal blue, because no one knows ki which color was that at the time of shooting. But skin, everyone will get to know okay, his skin is giving a different shades. Skin cannot be orangish, skin cannot be reddish, skin cannot be bluish, it has the perfect tone. So that is why the research shows कि we have to pick green color if you want to eliminate the blue color as a chroma. So before, blue is what we are doing. Even in India we can use both the colors because we as a Indians are not having a bluer eyes. Someone having, but not in the majority of. Okay. Filter we use to cut the green screen is the keyer. If we'll go to keying, first of all we used Luma. Luma is for cutting the black or brightest values in the shot, we can cut with the Luma. If I'll put Luma, you can see we can even cut the darkest values or the brightest values. So now the brightest values are not getting cut, only the darkest value are getting cut. But so you can see we can even let's come to this shape. We can even cut the brightest and darkest. If I'll make it invert, come to this final. So now the brightest value is getting cut. So we can even cut the shots. We learn this, but now this is only for brightest and darkest values. Now we want to cut the color. So if we want to eliminate any color, then we have to use keyer. Okay, if we want to eliminate brighter values of the shot or the darker value of the shot, then we'll use Luma. And if we want to remove the color, we'll use keyer. So this is the two difference between this keying. So both are used for keying. Keying what? Keying the foreground shot and mixing with the background shot. Okay. Sometimes the brighter value is all what matters to us. Means if I want to change the sky, so what I have to do is I just have to remove the brighter values. So I don't have to pick blue and cut it down and change it to something. So we straight away know ki that is having the brighter values. We'll cut those values and put another thing behind that shot. So that is more easier. So what we are doing, we are choosing the easier part. There are many ways to do that, but what we are doing is we are eliminating the lengthier part and we are choosing the easiest part. As match the color, first of all what we did is we chose RGB parad, but when at the time we have to correct the skin, we'll come to vector scope and choose this line to correct the skin. So why we are not choosing parad at that time? Because this is the more easiest way to achieve the target. So always we are doing the easiest way to finalize. So that is called smart work, not the hard work. So we have to know each and every part, but we'll choose what is the best at that particular time. So what we have to do is we have to, even if we can see, I just scroll on this, so green color is getting eliminated. So this is not a simple, it is very easiest way to picking the color and deleting it, and this is dedicatedly meant for deleting the green screens. So they dedicatedly made this. So just by putting this on the shot, we are eliminating, and you can see that patch is also gone. There is no patch. Why? Because this patch, you are seeing it as a patch, but how I am seeing this, it's just the darker values of green, not the patch. So if I have to eliminate green with a darker value, even I can mask it out and make it brighter and near to this color, and that will get eliminated. So you have to think as per luminosity, as per color values, not as per patch, as per what it's. If the shadows are coming on this, that means that shadow is making this green screen a lower luminosity level. है ना? Let's introduce. I'll take this black. I'll go to mask, make a draw mask. I'll draw. So what this black is doing? This black is doing nothing. It's just giving the darker shades of that green because the light is uh, coming less to this particular spot. So what we can do is we can mask this out and increase the luminosity level of the light to reach this particular level. Okay, so I'll go to color and will just increase the luminosity level of this light, and you can see it's automatically. So how we can eliminate shadows? Even by selecting those shadows. So our main perspective is to just refine the edges, not the center. So we always have to refine the edges. If our edges are coming good, we can delete anything from the green screen. Even if the crush is coming on the cloth, even we can remove that. How we know this? What that crush is making? That is making the luminosity level of that green lower. What we have to do is, first of all, we have to mask that thing and push the luminosity level up to cut that color, and then even we can put again green on that and it will get eliminated. So this is how the complex green screens also getting cut. So what you have to think about? You have to just think about the edges of the characters, not the center point or anything else. If the edges you think is coming good, you can cut any green screen. If the edges are having the problem, then it is very hard to cut that green screen. Okay, but there is another thing in this green screen keyer which we can use to even refine the edges. Let's see this one. If I on this green screen, and the light of the green screen is very well done, so even we don't have to do this. That is brilliant of the camera work, brilliant of lighting, that this is getting cut. People are not this much of strong to create a green screens. They cannot even light. They don't know how to light green screens. And sometime in the future you will get the green screen in a very bad conditions. But what you have to know is you just have to take care of edges. Rest everything you can cut with mask, with luma values. In lumas, what we can eliminate? We can even eliminate shadows, we can even eliminate brightness. So we will we'll put a mask around this, just a rough mask, and then we'll change the luma levels and we'll cut that one. So this part is not so hard. The hard part is the edges. So always at the time of green screen you just have to look at edges. If the character is moving the hand, then also you have to see that edges. So now you can see in the movement, you see the edges are not getting perfectly cut. So why? Because at that time motion blur is happening. So motion blur is distracting the key to pick the color, because that color is mixing with the next color. So the next color is the skin tones, and at the time of motion blur this color is mixing with this color. So this is what I am talking about, the edges. We just have to take care about the edges. Even for this particular time we have something. Now the second thing, one is edges of the hand, and the second thing is the color difference between these two shots. So we also has to see this. If we have to place and show that they are sitting on a studio, something like that, the environmental lighting of both studio and the characters has to be on same. The color, saturation, the luminosity, how we check, how to match two different shots in color grading, है ना? You know this. When at the time we settled the luminance level, then we'll settle the color correction, and then the vector scope we used for hue and saturation. You have to match these two, and then both the shot will get merged. No one can judge that they are not sitting there. They will create an environment. Another thing, this edges, how we can do. If I'll go to here, there are some settings you can see. One is the strength. If I'll put the strength low, you can see now it's creating the edges back. So the more strength, the better it will. So it's automatically using the 100% strength. Even if you find ki at 100% strength the edges are cutting down, what you have to do is you have to make the strength lesser, that the color is so hard, so you just have to make the color tone down. Okay, another thing, before even applying the key, what I do actually, I just go to color correction, I'll click on color wheel, I'll click on color mask, I pick this color, let's hide this, I pick this color, I make it a bit feather, and I increased the color. So what this is making, this is giving the more, and even I'll add more color. So now what this did is brighter that color values. So why brighter those color value will affect? This will make here more calculations. So this is what I always do, and this is the secret behind color key. Generally people are doing straight away cutting the color, but this is the better way of cutting the chroma key. Now if I'll go to here, and that, now if I'll see, just hide this, the color wheel is the second effect and the key is the first effect. But what we have to do is we have to put the color is the first effect, and then we have to key the color. Okay, so which effect is on the top, that will use first and then the second. If at any time you have to change the order, you have to you want that filter to be work as per your, maybe this order is the thing which is not making it correct. So what you have to do is you have to correct this order. So first of all, what I want is I want to increase the color. Then what I want is, now I want to cut the color. So now if I'll click on here, it will do better job than the previous. Okay, the second point. Now you can see it's much better edges, much better edges than before. So what we did is we just guided that the color saturation is more. Now it's getting easier for Kia to pick the color. Okay, now again we'll come back to this. If I click on the center part, these are the three in view. There are three. Even in Luma there are also three. One is the original, the output shot. In center is the what matte it's creating. Even you can see it's creating this one to black, and black means that will get cut, white means that will get visible. So what even it's, you can see this is cutting this part too. We cannot judge in this, but yes, now you can see the green is there. Is it visible? Let's zoom in. Just look at these areas, and now at this very bit of part, but yes, it's there because the matte is showing us. So how we can eliminate this? It's another point here is the fill holes. So what are the holes? These are the holes. So what we'll do, we'll increase the holes. Now the center part is getting filled. Now if I'll click here, that part is getting eliminated. Okay, so what we created again, the shell out, it's the opposite of shell out is stencil. And what stencil do? It overlay this on this shot. What we are doing is we are cutting both the persons from the green by using matte. This is what we do in Luma in cutting stencils, and the same thing we are creating with a key. So this is what we are doing always. So Luma and key are both combined. So the concept behind this is the black and white, the shell out and stencil. So you just have to remember that one. Same thing we are creating for text, now we are creating for green screens. So let's come to, this is the original. This is the matte we created, and by combining both calculations, it cut down the shot. This is the concept behind green screens. So if we don't have key, earlier we don't have key part in our editing concept. So how we created, we create the green screens, we cut the characters by black and whites, we create luminosity levels, multiplying that one again and again, then create this kind of matte by increasing the brightness, decreasing the shadows, and doing everything at every part on a bits and part, and then we'll merge as a compound clip to create this matte, and then we overlay this matte and create stencil Luma, and it's cut down. But the key is giving us the more flexibility that we have to. If now you can see, if the characters not having green means they are in the background, what you have to do to cut it down, you have to create a matte. So how you have to create a matte? By rotoscoping, by motion tracking. Just you have to create a black and white layer which cut down the on the background should be on black and foreground should be on white, and then you can straight away go to hide stencil Luma, and that will cut. Okay, just make it duplicate, make it hide. I'll change, I open this, I go to stencil Luma. It's doing the same thing, but in Key both these effects are coming in one filter. Okay, this is what this is meant for. So let's come again to this. So we on the final, let's on matte. So what all settings we have to do on looking to the matte, so that we have the clear idea what it's going. Now is the edge distance. So what are the edges? These are the edges. So if we increase the distance, now you can see it's coming inside. Let's make it undo. The edges are coming inside, and now if I'll click on this, the edges are coming inside. Okay, and if I'll make it back, edges are going outside. So it used the original automatic value, automatically choose the best value for us to cut down the matte. Okay, so we'll not change this, just I want to show you if you want to change the values. This is the spill level. So what is the spill level? This is the spill, the color which is coming on the foreground, that is called spill of color. Okay, if the color is coming on the foreground, what we have to change is we have to change the spill. Okay, where we have to go? We have to go to spill level, and if we increase this level, now you can see, look at the edges, the color, you are seeing the color, and now we are cutting the color. So if we are cutting the green, what will come? If we'll convert the green opposite to green, which color will increase? Magenta. So that means as soon as we increase, cut down the spill, means we are cutting the color. Which color we are cutting? Green, because green is coming on the screen. So if we have to cut down that spill, which color we have to add? Magenta, and that is what it's doing. Even we can go to color correction and change that spill even in shadows, midtones or highlights, but it is giving the extra option to us. But we as a person know, yes, if I have to, if the color green is coming on the skin, where we have to cut? We have to see whether it's coming on the highlights, shadows or midtones. Then we'll go to color correction and go opposite to that color. That is also you are eliminating that color. If I go to magentas, you can see, if I come to green, you can see the color is coming back. Why? We are making spill now. So as soon as I go opposite to green, we can even cut down the green too. But what it's introducing? It's introducing the magentas. Okay, let's move towards magenta. Let's make it as it is. Because at this point, our motto is to cut down the green, not the magenta in the skins. Okay. This is another point. This is the edge. You can see it's showing the edges. So I just what have to do is I have to click this point and tell this keyer key what is the edge. So I click on edge, and as soon as I click and refine this, let's see, it's cutting those edges. Let's check again. At this point, you can see it's going inside, it's cutting those edges. So how refine I have to go? You can see we can even, if at one time I have to refine this, if I'll go inside, so this is the edge, we have to make it at the edge, and this is the feather. Okay, inside feather, outside feather. So if this keyer is having difficulty to cut down the greens, what we'll do, we'll put different edges to guide it कि these are the edges, take care of these edges and do rest of the things. Okay, so this will be very beneficial when the edges is getting some difficulty of cutting it down. So what I told in the earlier class, that we have to take care just the edges, not rest of the color. So these are the tools who's making it more refined towards the edges. So we can even click as many edges as we can. So what we are doing is we are guiding the keyer कि these are the edges, take care of these and do your math. And invert, you know, invert is invert. Before it's black, background is white, foreground is black, and now if I'll click, now foreground is black and background is white. So if I have to cut down another color of this white, how I can do is just put another layer on it, make it invert, use the Luma key, make it more brighter, more brighters, है ना? We'll do these or math on this and then put the stencil alpha, Luma alpha, to cut it down the more sharper. So this is what the invert is for. I'll not go to invert at this point. Let's make it more. Now this is the color selection, but this is also automatically it's doing when we just drag the keyer, but this is just for refining at any point if you want to refine. So what these all do, that's what I want to guide. Okay, if at more still, in the still images you can see more things, but if I'll play it down from a wider perspective, that will not get register. Okay, but we'll do refine these edges too. ग्रीन शेड नहीं है, ये एजेस हैं, वो अभी ग्रीन स्क्रीन ही है. यहाँ पर जब भी उस ग्रीन के सामने कलर आएगा, दैट विल द शेडोज कम ओवर टू इट, क्योंकि लाइट वहाँ से आ रही है. So the shadow part and the green part is mixing and showing the edges. इसके लिए second level is we have to soften the matte. Now you can see the sharp edges and now the soft edges. The more soft, the more. Okay, we can even make it softer, and then we can even shrink inside or shrink outside. So this is the part, very lesser amount, I'll just make it very small and I will shrink it inside. You don't have to push so much because that will give the zombie kind of effect. Just a small, and this is the erode. Erode, what is doing? It's creating the soft edges inside. Before we are doing it outside, now we are making it inside. And see on a regular video.
So what did it erode?
Inside softness, from the edges to inside, inner softness. not on green. Let's see on shape. Okay, this is just shrinking, and this is giving the feather from inside, not from the outside. Now when the render part came, now you see the difference, the edges, and why this is showing, because that is not get rendered yet. So if you think you had shrinked it down, you can even where in this you can expand it outside. Okay, this is as per what your personal choice is. If you want to cut more, so making it more shrink will not look good, so very subtle points are better. Always doing a subtle movements are better. Yes, yes, but not on alpha. Alpha will not work on proxy, but green will work on proxy. Proxy is hiding the alphas, but greens you can work. Luma is working, alpha is not working. So what you can see is you can put alpha and then just go to optimized and see whether it's coming good or not, and then again coming back to this. So now let's play this video. So I don't see any problem in this. It's a very well cut chroma. So in proportion to the background, just if I see the magenta in this, how I can do is I'll just go here, make this clip as compound clip, because if I'll put magenta layer on this, the green will get affected because under this it's a key. So what I have to do is make a new compound clip. Okay, and then I have to do further color adjustments. Now if I'll go to magentas, it will not affect the greens, only affect the foreground. So this is how we do color corrections after cutting down the key. If you will do color correction inside this, that will affect the green screen also. If I'll cut it down, the let's say if I'll increase or decrease anything, that will affect the green screen too. So I don't want that. So where I have to go, I have to make a compound clip and do further editing. So always we have to do this, as in matte we also did this. In compound clip we duplicate the compound clip in text, and changing the text is not affecting the previous compound clip, and compound clips are better for doing these all things. Okay, another refining, yeah, one thing is left, that is color spill suppress. So what is spill suppress? Let's again I will shrink it. Let's do it the same. Let's come to spill. Spill is the area on the edges when the green is coming on the edges, not on the whole but on the edges. We are just cutting the spill. We are just cutting the spill. So whatever color it's falling on this overlay, we are cutting down that color. Brighter values, shadow will go to brighter and bright will go to shadower. That will cut down the spill. Spills, why spill happens? When there is no distance between the chroma and the subject, then that green gets spilled over to the subject. That is why I told in the start that we have to make a distance between green and subject. So no shadow will fall on green and no spill will come on the subject. If the distance between the both are less, then the spill that green, the cast green is doing, that will come on the edges. And how we can cut it? We have to come to spill suppress, means the edges which are glowing by the green, we have to cut those edges. That is the glow, na? We have to cut those glow. If that glow is on the brighter side, then we have to cut down the brighter side. If that glow is on the darker side, shadower side, then we have to make it brighter. Okay, then the tint is what? Changing a green to another color. If green is casting on this, that means ki magenta is not there. So what we have to do is we have to add magentas. Look. तो spill कैसे आता है? Spill is the green overlay to our subject, and what we have to do is we have to cut down that green. Even we can cut down with color corrections, but this is giving some other. With the help of matte, we are doing the cut down of this. Okay, so no, there is no spill actually because it's very well done, and the saturation of that spill means, first of all, what we do, we increase those green colors and then we'll cut those green colors. Light wrap is nothing, it's just the outer edges light. So if we'll increase the light, that will make the edges brighter, just the edges brighter, nothing else. So sometime the light is casting the shadows and we can cut that light. So intensity, yes, 100%. You can see the edges. Are you able? Just I'll zoom it up. Look at this stage, okay? Okay, and amount. Just edges are getting glow. And this is the opacity. So what we do is we are just increasing this and making the light to make our edges glow. And opacity is the level. How much opacity we have to create. So this is a very minor adjustments. We don't have to go majors. And then this, lighten, screen and overlay, these are the same blending modes. So what all this is doing, we can even do by layer up and layer, but this is giving the extra capability of doing these all things. And if at any point we'll use lighten, what it will do, it will add whites in the image, adding more whites, so making it more subtle. Hard light is making it darker. Okay, so what light is coming, we are doing the opposite of that to cut down that light. This is what we have to do now. Agar the darker part I have to eliminate, I will go to subtract group, है ना? If brighter part I have to overlay, I will go to add group, and if both I have to do, I will go to overlay. And the hard light is क्या कर दिया इसने? Okay, so this is light wrap, and this is all there in the. So by this, now if I'll see what we had created, the edges, this light. Okay. Now you can see. So this is what we eliminated, the extra things from the shot. So I'll make it invert. So this is all about keyer. There are so many settings, get used to it. uh, Download some different kind of green screens and try it to cut down the green. If you will find any difficulty, we'll see and adjust those. So different kind of green screen. If you are getting the best footage, yes, it will get automatically removed. But if you are getting bad, how and at what level we can eliminate those, we'll see. है ना? I also come with a bad chroma keys and we'll see what all we can do. But are we able to cut down bad chroma keys? No, not so much, but yes, with some different techniques, we can even cut down the chromas. And how beautiful, how bad, it's all depend on the what chroma we are receiving. And you cannot achieve every chroma setup with this sharpness. If you will see कि okay, in this shot the chroma is getting very clear and I will cut all the chromas which I will get, that person is not capable of creating chroma screens. So you will get the bad footage and you sometime you have to forgive that. Means okay, this is what we are able to and this is the best I can do in this. Then the further to this chroma, there is a key light software in After Effects that is even giving more capability of cutting down the chroma. When we'll go to After Effects, we'll explore those two. And if we are not able to cut down the chroma in Final Cut Pro, then After Effects is the second software which is giving us more capability, more ability to cut down the chromas. Then we'll go to After Effects, take the shot, we'll go to After Effects and then cut it there. If that is also not making it cut, then there is no other option you can able to cut down the chroma. Okay, then you have to live with that. But yes, many bad scenarios chroma you can even cut in Final Cut Pro, that will get cut. So the technique is increasing the colors, adjusting the brightness and then placing the keyer. Just if I'll delete this, that is making, because this is a very well shoot chroma, so that is giving, means that is making some edges, that is giving some shadows, making it bubbling effect, and that sometime you will see the bubble effect here. That is why, because the shadows are overlaying to that chroma, the shadows are making it bubble. So what you have to do is you have to mask it down and then increase the luminosity level till it get deleted. I'll stop this class here.